we're going to look at the structural requirements of a 1-hour radio show. So just a bit of an overview. We're going to start by looking at the basic components and then the sections. So components. Well, you'll probably have music in your show, not necessarily, but generally there's a bit of music at least. Some talking in the show, whether it be actually a talk show or if you're just introducing some music or some sections. There's going to be some sponsor promos in your show, station IDs, and CSAs or community service announcements. Now, in addition to the components, there's sections to the show. So we're looking at a 60-minute show. And in general, your part of the show, what you create, should be around about 52 minutes. So it could be a little bit under, it could be a little bit over. And that's your basic music, your talking, whatever it is that you're doing, that's your show. And this is usually divided into 5 sections of about 10 minutes each, and we'll look at that in a moment. So we've got 52 minutes of show, and then we've got 8 minutes of additional material. Now that's going to be 10 sponsor promotions. It's going to be 2 station IDs, probably. Could be 2 or 3 or 1. That's kind of up to you. But we want 10 sponsor promos and 3 community service announcements across the 60 minutes of your show. So we'll break that down a bit further and look at each of those 5 sections. At the beginning, section 1, you want an introduction to the show. So what's the show about in general? Is it a show about Latin music, for example? And what's the name of the show? What are your goals with this particular show? Why are you doing it? Then what's on today's show in particular? Introduce yourself. Tell the listener when the show goes to air and remind them that they're on 91.3 Keppel FM. What you create in terms of talking and the music that you decide to play. Probably a station ID, not necessarily, and that station ID could be in the middle of this 10-minute section, could be at the end. And 2 sponsor promos, they're going to come at the end. Sections 2, 3 and 4, and you can vary it a bit, but basically you want to reintroduce the show or the theme. So remind the listener what it is that they're listening to. So if you've got an interview with Fred Bloggs, remind the listener you're speaking to Fred Bloggs about ornithology, for example. You're going to include your talking, your music. Station ID, again, could be in the middle, could be near the end, could be at the start of the section. Up to you. Maybe you won't even have it in sections 2 and 3, but you might bring it in section 4. You're going to include 2 sponsor promos, and that's going to come at the end of the section, and also a community service announcement. Now, you want 3 of them across your show. You could put 1 in sections 2, 3 and 4. That's nice and neat. Not necessary, though. You do want 3 of them, but it's up to you a little bit as to where they go. And then the final section, section 5, again, at the start of the section, you've just come out of some promos, so reintroduce the show or the theme. Remind the listener you've been listening to and whatever it is. Then you have your talking, music. You might include a station ID, and you're going to have an outro, so you'll tell the listeners you've come to the end of the show, remind them of the name of the show, your name, and when your next live show is going to be. Wish them a good day, a good week, something along those lines. Couple of sponsor promos. And also, if you haven't already got 3 of them, then include an additional community service announcement. Okay, so we've got a 60-minute show, 52 minutes-ish of your material, 8 minutes-ish of promos, IDs, community service announcements. 5 sections, around about 10 minutes each. And then also as part of the structure, you've got your segues, and we've already talked a little bit about them. So you want to remind the listener from time to time what it is that they're listening to and the station that they're on. And this often comes after a promo break. And I just put the whole idea into AI and it spat out a few for me. So you might want to script them and you can vary them, you can ad-lib a little bit. So the 3 that the AI gave me, and just like that, we're back. Hope you enjoyed those messages. Now let's dive right back into the good stuff right here on 91.3 Keppel FM. Another idea? You're tuned into Show Name on 91.3 Keppel FM, where the music never stops for long. Let's keep the energy going with another Jimmy Barnes song. And we're back on 91.3 Keppel FM, bringing you the best in sports. Let's jump right back in. You're going to want to vary it a little bit. The purpose is just to remind the listener or what it is that they're listening to. We've looked at the basic structure, 52 minutes of your material, about 8 minutes of additional material. So they're the components, probably 5 sections with a couple of promos at the end of each and a CSA here and there. You want 3 in total. You're going to be thinking about segues. Next step, so you've got your basic structure. What do you need to do now? So what you could be doing is planning your show. So what's your show about? And what's the name of the show? What are you going to call it? And why are you sharing Latin music with the community out there? What is it that you like about Latin music, for example? Then you want to decide if you want to go live or pre-record your show. People often pre-record the first few shows, and when you're feeling a little bit more confident, ready to go live, then somebody could sit in with you and help you those first few times until you gain that confidence and you're ready to fly solo. And the other thing that you should be doing is just learning the basics of Audacity, however much you need to know in order to manage the way that you're going to present your program. And we've got some video links to help you with that.